now to find out what's going on, right? The very first presidential election rally we've had, and what an amazing night it has been. But tonight, we're going to take it one step further. And what do I mean by that? Now, not many presidential candidates, I think, would be willing and perhaps courageous enough to do this, but we're going to do it anyway. What I'm going to do in just a while is we're going to imagine this is my little living room, or like my own little talk show, Patrina Cow's talk show. And I'm going to be sitting down with our first presidential candidate and chatting with him. Very informal, so that you have a chance to see what he's like up close and personal. A little bit hard to imagine because you're all here, but imagine it's the most enormous, gigantic studio and we are shooting a live talk show. All right, ladies and gentlemen? So we're gonna also, I think we have some garlands and gifts that some of our ardent supporters and volunteers would like to come up and give to Mr. Tan Jee Se. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. We couldn't have done this without your support. So we're going to be asking, well, I'm going to be asking a lot of the questions that I think are floating around either on the internet. Well done. Thank you, Jeanette. And also, you know, questions that are on people's minds. What is Mr. Tan Jee Se about? Why should he be our next president? So I'm going to ask him all of those questions and more so that you have a chance to really see what he's really like. Thank you. I think this is Eileen and Paul who also want to give some little gifts to Mr. Tan Jee Se. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so please, Tan Jee Se, welcome to my living room. We have a lot of people in my house today. Now, a lot of us, I'm going to get straight into it, yeah? Because a lot of us know you as, you know, Jee Se, the political, you know, opposition party person or the political figure. But tell us about yourself. You know, what was it like, you know, growing up, your childhood, boyhood years, and all of that. Yeah, lead us into your life.
Yeah, I grew up in a big family, 9 children, and both my parents came from China, Hainan Island. And all of us, we just rented a room in Queen Street, and all 9 children were packed like sardines into one single room. And that's how tough life was for us. And we would sleep over each other at night and roll over each other. So that was how tough it was. And my mother brought us up as a washerwoman. And I could remember that she would just, you know, as a child, she would just carry me on her back and just concentrate on washing clothes. And then with me piggyback on her. And that's how I grew up, on the back of my mother. But I help out, all the children help out. I took the easy one out. I went to collect and distribute clothes. My sisters wash, iron, my father ironed clothes as well.
So are you very good at the laundry at home then?
No,
yeah?
not at all. We have something called a washing machine now.
Must ask, you know, Mrs. Tan whether or not you're good with the laundry.
Yeah.
Great. And, you know, what was it like perhaps when you went to school? You know, I mean, was it tough for your mum to put you through school?
Yeah, we had school. We had lots of schools in Queen Street, and the school that I went to was just across the road, and then I would just run across when the bell rang. So there wasn't any bus to take and all that. So it was
those
quite
were the
near.
days, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds fun. Okay, how about let's talk about your time in the civil service. Okay.
Yes.
What was that like, and what was the highlight of your career in your 6
Well,
years
I think I consider the highlight of my career when I was chosen personally by the late Dr. Goh Keng Swee to be his aide, to help him because he was appointed by the President of Sri Lanka to advise him on economic development. So as a young man, 26 years old, I was called up by Dr. Goh, come, help me, work on it, and let's help another country. Singapore has developed, and let's use our experience to help another country. So I was really gratified. I was just thrown off. I mean, it was quite a feeling at the age of 26 into the second year of my civil service career. And here comes the architect of Singapore economy, getting me to help him, to help another country. And that has really struck me. And well, I did work hard. We worked until 5 a.m. and he would tell me that he wants his notes of meeting the next morning at 7 a.m. So 5 a.m. I would get it, slip it into our secretary's room, and then by 7 a.m. it's typed and it's on the table, breakfast table with Dr. Goh. So it was quite good, and he was actually a role model. I hope that to learn from him and to use his experience, his knowledge, to do Singapore good economy, because during his time we had good economy and good unity among the people, happiness. It's not like now where there's a lot of economic division. Society is divided even though there's high GDP growth. In those days, Dr. Goh was able to achieve for us high economic growth without creating unhappiness among the people.
Great, thank you. Now, I think, being plucked out like that at such a young age really inspired you to work harder in your career. And when you eventually went into the public sector, rather the private sector, there's been a little bit of query about your CV, right?
Yeah.
Why, how many jobs you've had over how many years. So
right.
Would you like to just put it down on record right now?
Yes.
Set the record straight and tell us your CV.
Yeah, thank you very much, because there have been a lot of queries online plus the media about my employment record. Let me just set the record straight. I achieved every milestone wherever I went. My first job was in Morgan Grenfell, an investment bank, and I won for them the privatization of Singapore Telecom. That was Singapore's major privatization, and it was also the first telecom privatization ever won by the Morgan Grenfell Group anywhere in the world. It is a global bank, but they won the first telecom privatization project in the world, in Singapore. They were immensely proud of me for helping them to win this project. And not only that, they made me the telecom specialist for the Morgan Grenfell Group, and they flew me around the world to get business for them in telecoms. They flew me to Seattle, they flew me to Pakistan and all other places. So I was quite proud of Morgan Grenfell. Then I moved on to Peregrine, and I also chalked up another milestone, the first ever cross-border mergers and acquisition between an Indonesian conglomerate, one of the top 10, and a major Malaysian mining company listed on the stock exchange of Kuala Lumpur. So it was a major cross-border M&A worth about $150 million. It was quite big in those days. And that transaction was personally witnessed by Prime Minister Mahathir. And I was very proud that I was there shaking his hands, and he was congratulating me for winning it, for making it possible between a Singaporean bringing together an Indonesian conglomerate and a Malaysian listed major mining company. That's Peregrine. The third one was Govert, a fund management company. I won for them a major mandate from a sovereign wealth fund. And also I set up for them a Sharia fund for the insurance subsidiary of a major Malaysian bank. So these are two milestones. I'm quite proud of Govert. Well, I did, they say that, well, how come you go to so many banks? But actually you look at it, it's not uncommon for people in the financial sector to move around. Some even move after 1 year, within a year, because things move very fast in the financial sector, in banks, in securities, in fund management, and you have to be nimble. Management change, and you have to change to go along with it. your interests also change. So I have changed jobs maybe 3 times, 4 times over a period of 13 years. And that's not so frequent. I mean, 14 years, average of 3 years. Minimum stay I had in any one place was about nearly 2 years, 20 months. And then the maximum was 5 years. So between 20 months, 2 years, 2.5 years, 4 years, 5 years. Not too bad a record compared to other people in the financial sector.
Thank you. Well, that sounds like a very impressive CV to me. And you know, a lot of people have, because you just came fresh from the general elections, right?
Yeah.
So what made you run for the presidency so soon after? I mean, was this part of your plan all along, or?
Well, it's part of public service, GE, I wish I had been elected an MP, serving Parliament, serving the people in Parliament, but it was not to be, and there is this opportunity now to serve the people again. So I am taking advantage of the opportunity to serve the people again.
And what would you say then to people who then say that you're kind of doing this for political gain or political reasons?
Well, if you mean political gain, by political gain you mean serving the people, then obviously I'm doing it for political reasons, gain. But this is all part of serving the people. I am not pushing for any opposition agenda. It's serving people, being above party politics, hearing views of everyone. And the views that I have, contrary to the government, are not the monopoly of the opposition. Even some members of the PAP are unhappy about the PAP. So this presidential election indeed is a reflection of the diversity of opinion even within the PAP. You have 3 of them coming out to contest the same position. So isn't there diversity? And the views are shared by even members of the PAP, not just the opposition. So there is no opposition agenda as such. I am doing this for the country, for the views of for the interests of every Singaporean.